Yo, what's up, man? Yo, what up, what up? This Hot Blast. Yo, y'all know what time it is. Yo, listen, we on right now? We on and popping? Listen, here it is. Y'all know what time it is. We here, Hot Blast, you know what I mean? Another episode. Cop this old head shit. I got a song about this and a video. I'm gonna have it on there. Yeah, let's start it. Yeah. Listen, word, listen, man. I'm here to talk about the down south hip hop, man. Down south hip hop, bro. Like, um, East Coast rap was always the ish. We know that. When you think of Coogee rap, when you think of Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J, Grandmaster Caz, Rappers Delight, when it first hit the radio, I'm talking about when it first hit the radio, most of us heard Grandmaster Flash and Grandmaster, I mean, not Grandmaster Flash, we heard Rappers Delight. We heard those cats, you know what I mean? Most of us heard those Big Bag Bank, all them cats. And I know New York people can say, no, I heard Grandmaster Caz, I heard Busy B, and I heard all these different rappers, Colt LaRock and all that. Of course, because I know Nasheed is coming out with something where he gonna be talking about the in-depths of hip hop. And now anytime you got cornbread graffiti artists from Philly, which he got started before a lot of New York graffiti artists even thought about fame, he already had fame in like 1965, 66, 67, 68, right? So whatever. But East Coast was always the joint, right? You know what I mean? East Coast was always popping. Let's give it up for them, East Coast, right? Yeah. So East Coast was always popping, no doubt. And I love East Coast because I'm from East Coast. I'm from Philly. So of course, you know what I mean? You got Study B, Cool C, MC Breeze. Y'all know about B Force. B Force was our sound crew. Just like if you go down south and you hear Beats by the Pound and all them guys and them DJ early guys, them DJ guys from way back, you hear those Skinny Pimp, all these guys that got started, and what's the other boy name? He was a major dude, not in Memphis. Was he in Memphis? He was in Baton Rouge. This before I think this before uh uh um what's the boy name? Master P. This before Master P. They had the song How You Do That There. They actually hooked up with Master P, and then Master P remixed it and all that. Yeah. But what's my man name? Hold on. I gotta bring up my man because he he had that. They had that before Master P came on the scene. But like I said, we got into East Coast rap because that's, you know what I mean. East Coast, New York coined the name hip hop, and I can go into that. I got a video on how deep is Philly hip hop, but for the most part, New York, we know they coined the name hip hop, and then all their earlier people, even uh, before Rappers Delight, you know, all of those guys before Big Hank, all them guys. Of course, you got Casanova and all them guys. I mean, Grandmaster Caz, not Casanova. I don't know why I said his name. You had those guys, and then you had the what's the names? You had the superstars. You had Melly Mel, Grandmaster Flash, and Melly Mel. You had Funky Four plus one more. Then later you had cats Big Daddy Kane, the whole Juice Crew squad, MC Shan, of course. You had them. You had Craig G, Biz Markie, of course, Roxanne Shante. You can't even say the Juice Crew without saying Roxanne Shante. And then you had they beat makers and their movers and shakers. Mr. Magic was putting on the stuff. And then you had their producer. You had, of course, Marley Marl. They putting on for their squad. Then you had up in the Bronx, you had Said G from Ultramagnetic MCs putting together Ultramagnetic MCs, and then KRS One and Scott LaRock and Said G putting together the Boogie Down production. You know what I mean? So it's just multiple dudes. You had was it Mantronics and them putting out all they stuff and they rappers. So I'm running through it, but you just had all these different rappers and cats coming out. You know what I'm saying? Busting it. Spoonie G, Schoolie, I mean, not, Schoolie D, but I'm talking about New York people. Spoonie G, what's the boy name? It's Yours and all that stuff. So East Coast was popping. We noticed East Coast was running the gamut on stuff. We listened to them on our radio station in Philly with Lady B. You know what I'm saying? And then we had a pilot station around our way in West Philly, down the bottom, 42nd Street. Around there, they had this radio station where they was playing stuff, and it was the B Force. Our sound crew was a bunch of DJs, and they was getting it in. And they was acting like a record label, really. They put on talent. They had dancers. They had people that was a whole DJ squad, and then they teamed up with MC Breeze, and Breeze put out his records. Then you had Schoolie D putting his own records out. Schoolie D had his stuff, and then you had, of course, LG the Teacher putting out pop art records, and then his brother putting out Word Up records. And they put out the Juice Crew. So this below New York was crazy. So let's go deeper. Down south, bro. When I really started getting into down south and listening to their music, I was like, these dudes, they are incredible because I like the way they sound. And I'm seeing all this stuff back in the early 90s come out. And I go to Tower Records, and I remember it was a big, super crazy looking magazine. And I always like Unusual magazine. I'm like, what's this wild shit? I'm looking in it, spaceships and this weird article writing all these crazy looking hip hop dudes in it. One dude had a gun wrapped around somebody's head with duct tape down south on a porch. I'm like, this look crazy. Or they was in the house. The house looked like they cooking up crack and all kinds of craziness. I'm like, these niggas crazy. Then I heard some Midwest dudes, and then I heard some Bay Area rappers. 3 Times Crazy. They sound crazy. BA and Geek the Sneak, all these crazy names. Then I'm hearing Bay Area rappers. Of course, you hear Hieroglyphics. They had a kind of East Coast sound, you know, Casual, Festo D, of course, Delta Funky Homo Sapien, Pep Love from Souls of Mischief, Tajay, A Plus, all these guys, Pep Love, all of them. They got an East Coast, but then they got their Too Shorts in the Bay Area. They got their E40s and the Ballhead Nut, not C Murder, Sibo. Then you got in Baton Rouge, you got C Murder and Master P. And when I heard Master P, and so the magazine I seen was Murder Dog. It was a huge magazine at first, and it was just this weird texture that it had, like a matted texture. And they had these articles sprawled out in the crease where the magazine folds open was stitched. That old school. Like the dude I think he was a punk rocker type dude, and he was from, I don't know, Pakistan. I don't know where he was from, but he was a wild dude. But I didn't know that at the time. I'm learning, but at the time I looked at that magazine, I was hooked. I started buying that magazine. I started seeing cats like Tommy Wright the Third with a He had a spade shovel standing at a grave, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. I'm like, what the hell were these dudes? And then when you listen to that, ching, 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 that sound that Tommy Wright the Third had, and he rhyming, talking about murder, and he talking crazy, like they some devil worshiping killers out this joint. I'm like, yo, these dudes wildin'. Sibo, the gas chamber from the other West Coast or in the Bay Area. I'm like, who is these niggas? 8-Ball and MJG. Then I see Underground Kings, that old tape. I said, look at these niggas. They get it. And they names of their records on the label. I'm like, where these record companies at? Where they at? Tila, I'm so tired of balling, you can't let up, what do you say? I'm so tired of balling. And sure enough, that was incredible. The music. They took what they did back in the day and kept that sound, them pounding drum bass and that keyboard, that eerie keyboard sound. And they had their own stuff, putting out their records by the units. Just putting them out. They had their own CEOs. You read names. All these producers I never heard of, like Juicy J. Who the fuck are these dudes? And I was hooked. I was trying to get other people in the East Coast to listen to these dudes. And everybody, how you crazy, you bugging them guys. I said, no, they doing their own shit. I was trying to push independent back then in the 90s, and nobody ain't know what it is. Now everybody's all, oh, do your own thing. Independent, of course, is the best way to go. Hip hop did that in the South. They basically formatted it in its perfection. They got it down because when you hustlers and you doing, you moving. Oh, okay, get these units, buy 1,000 CDs, buy 1,000 vinyl, hook it up. Then they got the distributors. Then this guy from New York, I thought he was for the longest, I thought he was a down south dude. But Fat Cat Recordings, I thought he was down south. But he understood early on what it was about. And he went down south and got him some artists to claim the fame that y'all probably know him as by Gucci Mane. But he was big fat boy. You know what I mean? You read Gucci Mane book, he talks about that. He talk about it in the book. UGK, when they was trying to get down. And then you got Suave House and all these record labels that just was coming with it. You got Project Pat and Juicy J and 3-6 Mafia. And then when I heard Gangsta Boo and LaChat and Tommy Wright the Third's girl, Prince Loco, I think, like their sound, they don't talk about the Dayton family. You know, fuck being indicted, FBI, that album, like, let me get to my man. I was getting ready to talk about my man from Master P from Baton Rouge. These guys, man, you just gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love these guys because these were the ones that were doing major things down south. And to me, I was like, yo, these dudes get it. They get the underground distribution. And then when I'm looking at Murder Dog magazine and I'm seeing stuff like Master P, when I seen Master P, I was like, this dude is every ad. Every time you turn around, this dude had an ad. I'm like, who is this dude? Every time you turn around, he had an ad. Like I said, while I would see these huge ads of like, you know, on top of the world, 8-Ball and MJG, and these interesting ads, it was just like, yo, who these dudes, man? Who are these incredible dudes? I'm trying to look for this one boy that Master P got with. What was the guy name? Damn, I can't think of it offhand. And I play his stuff all the time. But let me see, is this it? Oh no, that's no. But yeah, just these guys, they go to Bald Head Nut, see Murder, the Gas Chamber. That when that joint came out, when that came, I was like, who is this dude? I seen the ad of the joint. SIBO Gas Chamber. This look crazy. And when I say down south, I mean Midwest too. Midwest and like I said, the other East Coast, the Bay Area. That's what I'm talking about too. You know what I'm saying? It was just you know, let me see. Tommy Wright the Third. Like, look at this album. See, y'all, I'm trying to put this. Hold up. Tommy Wright the Third album. Let me just, for my East Coast people that don't understand, this is for y'all. Y'all don't understand the stuff I was seeing back then, and I was tripping off of it. Like, look at this crazy shit. Like, let me show you this album. Where's that album go? My man standing at the grave site. I think it's the ashes joint. Oh, here you go. Look at this. Like, I was seeing this stuff early on. I can't. Damn, why it ain't coming up? I was seeing this. Let me not play it. But I was seeing this stuff early on. I was seeing this stuff early on. Let me see. Let me see Tila John. Tila. I was seeing this stuff early on. Y'all don't understand. So people wasn't really privy to that. They would be like, "Oh, Hawk, you crazy. You like all that crazy stuff." I'm like, "It ain't crazy. These boys off the hook." Sure enough, tied a balling joint. That I ain't gonna play the whole thing. Pieces of a Man. Y'all seen that in the ad, but I was bugging off this. I was bugging off this type of stuff, like Project Pat and all these different dudes, man. I knew that these guys were major. You know what I mean? I knew Skinny Pimp. What's the boy name? Skinny Pimp and them. He was down with I think he was down with 3-6 Mafia. All these cats. Like I said, the Dayton family. What's it, Skinny Pimp? Yeah, King of Players Ball. This boy. Like all this type stuff. Let's go to some Master P. You already know Master P, but when he first came out, people wasn't privy to that. You know what I mean? That ice cream, joint. All these guys, they were ill, man. Like you seeing these ads all in the joint, and that pen and pixel look, just all of that type of joints. You know what I mean? Let me see. New Orleans rappers from the 90s. Yeah, these guys were ill, man. But what I'm getting at is that down south was doing it big because they were speaking in their language. They were doing their own thing because they knew the East Coast wasn't really giving them no play, wasn't giving them no props. And I remember in the 90s, in the early 90s, Bahamadia, a rapper from Philly, y'all heard of Bahamadia. She was down with Guru and all that. She put out her joint, you know what I mean? Y'all know Bahamadia, major chick in the game. And she had her own station, and she had her own joint called the B-Sides on the radio station on 107.9. It was called the B-Side. And she would get she would play mainly East Coast stuff. That was her twist. But when she would get the down south stuff, she would give it to me because she knew how much I loved it. And she gave me a lot of records. I bought a lot of records, and I bought a lot of CDs and tapes. But she knew I was so into it, and I was trying to get everybody else to see how big the South was. But everybody, man, get out of here. That ain't gonna be. I remember people would always diss that. Even Wu-Tang they would be dissing a lot of South. I'm like, why are y'all doing that? Because these dudes is dope. They knew how to make them banging, hard smacking beats with that keyboard sound, that eerie keyboard sound, and they was doing it. And I love that because to me, they had the physical knowledge. They was on pro-black, push our own labels. They was already ahead of the game on that, taking their hustle money or their job money, and they was putting it into the records. They understand to call up the distributor. They understand to put they label in the business, and then they had a business or LLC or incorporated. I remember all these stuff, even like Black Hands records in West Coast. And all these record labels, and then, No Limit Records, and they understood how to do distribution. They understood that. So me, I was for the down south dudes. I'm listening to their stuff. The rhymes were crazy. The Dayton family, F being indicted. You know what I mean? The FBI song, that was like, they went F the FBI, F being indicted. They was going wildin', Project Pat and them just talking about murder and killing, and Tommy Wright the Third talking about murder and killing, and I'm gonna get them before they get me, and just as even no disrespect, I know people take this serious, but I was listening to Yo Gotti way back. Like, I remember when all them guys came out. Like, so I was just as hype as I was for Smooth the Hustler and all these guys, Smooth the Hustler, Black Moon, and the whole Black Moon camp, the Biggies, the Children of the Corn, and Big L. I was just on them just as much as I was on the down south dudes. And now it's popular for West Coast to understand them and dig it. But I remember when nobody wasn't giving them no play. And Underground Kings, incredible. 8 Ball and MJG, incredible. And I'm just trying to name people off the top, but it was so many people. I'm trying to look for my man. What's my man's name? Damn, I can't find his stuff. I've been playing it all the time. But all these rappers were major. They were major down south, and they was getting it in. They was really getting it in, man. And that's what we gotta notice. That I'm trying to see. Hold up, here go. Favorite. Hold up, y'all.
Yo, good morning, man.
Hold up. I'm trying to see if I can find. This is under the library. Oh, here go my man right here. C. Loke. That's what I think. C. Loke. He put out Badass, I think. C. Loke. He put out them. He put out Badass. Bootsy Badass. He put out him. But C. Loke and them had the joint before. There you go right there. C. Loke. He had the joint before Master P. How you do that there? He had that before him. So these guys were all, and he was his own boss. And there's another bull. What's the other bull from down there in Baton Rouge? He was another one that was doing it big. And he was, I'm trying to see where I got all my stuff at. He was doing it big too. I can't find I had all my stuff in the joint. But down south was major, bro. They got that pro-blackness that I wished, what's the name of them had. I love my main source, and I love all these guys. Of course, I love Redman. But they had early on, what everybody say Wu-Tang had, they put their stuff together. They was operating like that way before, I think, Wu-Tang and all them. And I love my East Coast people. But I was also loving my down south people, a West Philly boy that loved down south to the